right. Good morning. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in to the nation. My name is Law Nation. Really appreciate each and every last one of you all, especially this early in the morning. I just want to be able to talk about a few things that's rumbling in my mind. I really do. I really do. Don't forget, guys, this life that we live is just life, right? Let's not get too serious, but let's understand the true nature of what life is all about, and that's growing. When you elevate yourself from one level to the next, there's always a growth factor. Now, there's going to be growing pains in life. There's going to be stumbles. There's going to be knickknacks and things like that. And I wish I can craft up a better picture. But the reality of everything is that there will be growing pains as it relates to whoever Dak Prescott is going to have as his offensive coordinator, whoever Ezekiel Elliott is going to have as his offensive coordinator. It's sad, but it's true. I wish I can craft and paint a better picture for everyone, but that's the nature of, that's the pathway that Jerry Jones chooses to go with, basically. And I wished I can craft it up better, but let's be real about it. All we got to do now is just wait and just wait. This team collectively with skill set along with Ezekiel Elliott, he's a +7 to 8 win guy with Dak Prescott, with him not being able to turn the ball over as much as people think. That's going to give you at least 3 games there. I'm saying that I'm looking at on paper alone, just with those 2 guys on this particular team can get you about 9 to 10 wins a year. That's just off of natural talent. And then on top of that, if you add in the fact with the offensive line, you're going to have Travis Frederick back. Hey, man, to that. And then you're going to have Zach Martin. Then you're going to have a better La'el Collins who improved. There's nobody that can point out film and show me on tape that he regressed or anything like that as that right tackle. Now, we can maybe say something about Tyron Smith, but hopefully he can step things back up. But let's just listen to 105.3 The Fan on this topic right quick before we go into more dialogue.
At the 33-yard line.
We had this game called the Pro Bowl yesterday.
Good morning.
On your home of the NFL, 105.3 The Fan.
Appreciate you.
This thing was
a
joke. Like, I don't even remember tuning in over the past few years and seeing them make as big a mockery of it as they did yesterday.
I've never seen anything like this. I mean, to not have,
trying to wake up,
you're using offensive guys on defense, which that's kind of cool. And I'll be honest with you, if I was Jalen Ramsey, I'd want to play offense. If I was Zeke or,
Mike
Amari
Evans,
Cooper, Mike Evans,
I think.
Dude, I mean, that'd be fun. I feel really bad for the O-line guys. I mean, they're stuck doing O-line stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, I would have been if Tyra got out there under center to play quarterback, that'd have been cool, you know? But that's what this game's about. And then if you're taking this thing too seriously, what are you doing?
26-7, the AFC topped the NFC, and we were all paying attention to Kellen
Hello, Katie.
Moore
How you doing?
calling
Elite Rob,
the
appreciate
offensive plays for Jason Garrett. It was the Cowboys coaching staff, the NFC, put up 148 yards of total offense. 148 yards.
I can hear Shannon
that's
there.
it.
148 yards. I can hear Shannon Sharp say that now.
In the Pro Bowl, where they're not allowed to tackle.
No, it's a touch.
2 hints.
I mean, how many times we saw Dak running around and all of a sudden it was, oh, wait, he's down? He didn't get tackled.
Cowboys still not confirming anything when it has to do with the official play caller or the offensive coordinator. Jason Garrett skipped out on the media sessions throughout the entire week. But as RJ said, to start the top 7 at 7 live here in Atlanta at the Super Bowl, don't put any stock in it.
There you go.
Don't put any stock in it. Troy and Choppy think that about 50% or more Cowboy fans are going to freak, thinking yesterday was some type of indicator over the play caller and offensive mind Kellen Moore would be. It's not. That whole thing is a joke. No one takes it seriously. You don't have any practice time. Don't worry about it.
Yo, listen, right.
Remember how we said that Jason punted on a 4th down?
Yeah.
The NFC punted 4 times. The AFC did not punt. Why are you... first off, you should punt at least once. You named a punter to the Pro Bowl. Let him get out in the game and punt.
What's up, Mel?
Okay? Let him have one, at least, right? But other than that, go for it. What are you trying to play conservative for? Play. Just go. Go for it on fourth down.
They were
let
down.
let the kickers kick one time.
They were down
True that.
20-0,
I
and
agree.
Jason punted on 4th and 5, I think.
Yeah.
That's what the situation was. And Jason Witten was trending for all the wrong reasons. He thought that Eric Ebron was a teammate of Patrick Mahomes. He broke the MVP trophy afterwards. It was not a good Sunday for the Dallas Cowboys.
I
Not a
didn't
good
catch that
Sunday
part.
at all.
So, with all that being said, hey, you know what? When we talk about conservative, this is the thing. I'm talking about Jason Garrett, not talking about Kellen Moore. When you are conservative, you are who you are. You cannot expect Jason Garrett to be this guy that's going to just be the free willy. It's just one of those things. If a guy, he's going to have this blue shirt that you see in the background every game, I guarantee you that he's going to wear the blue shirt. That's Jason Garrett. How you doing, guys? That's just who his nature is. That's all he ever will be. I can guarantee, I can book it. He is the conservative guy. Now, people are going to look back and say, okay, well, Law, hey, he did go for a lot of fourth downs, Law. I mean, he really did. Was that really him going forward, or was he been told to do what the Jerry Jones wanted him to do? I mean, that's just the bottom line. Now, if you insert Kellen Moore, and he may, and I've been saying this from day one, he may be the next Bill Belichick. But keep in mind, Bill Belichick just don't fall off trees. Bill Belichick, he was with the Giants when they won their first Super Bowl. He was on that roster as a auxiliary guy. He was out there learning, studying, proving himself that he can be a part of something, picking up the craft. And then he ultimately went to the Browns, I believe, and he was still studying, learning, bumping his head. You're not successful. And then he began to learn small things. And with those small things, he was able to put those things together. And by putting those things together, guess what? We get the Bill Belichick's of today's worlds. But what we have is a fast food mentality now. Everybody wants everything right now. And trust me, it's been over 20 years we've been waiting for success right here in Big D. Now, when you have money accelerates everything. It speeds up things. When you have money right now, I can go to a car lot and I can say, okay, I want that particular car. I want that particular car, and I guarantee you at some point they're going to look at me and say, okay, what credit worthiness that you have to get this particular car, Law? And I showed them my past. I showed them my past. Now, and also I show them what my resources are able to get that particular car, right? I love using analogies. But when you're young, and when you don't have the resources, nor when you don't have the past to prove that you are validated enough to handle these type of things, then it's just not going to happen. That's what we call growing pains. You may have, so those who out there that's in the chat box, you may have a child that's in elementary school. You may have a child that's in middle school. You may have a child in high school, and they may think that they know more than you, but from experience alone, you may say to them, they bright, they smart, they intelligent, they got all of the ability to create some type of impact in life. But right now, I see down the line that they're going to be there. But right now in the moment, they're going to have to go through some growing pains. They're going to have to learn something in order to get there to where we all say that they should be. It's going to go through that. And that's just the bottom line. That is the reality. Now, Kellen Moore, like I said, there's going to be some growing pains. Now, Jerry Jones have a chance to change all this, because when he got the type of resources that he got, baby, Jerry Jones can reach into his pocket. And remember, I say this now, I say this going to my grave. There's no salary cap as it relates to going out there getting a coach that you know for sure, that without a shot of a doubt, you know for sure that this particular coach can elevate my entire franchise, my entire team. Because we already knew, well, put it like this. when Jason Garrett was the head coach, when he got that positioning to be the head coach, collectively there were people out there saying there's going to be some growing pains, and there's still 8-9 years later, there's still things that Jason Garrett is learning. You put Bill Belichick behind this particular roster in 2006 and beyond, and 7, 8, and 9, what have you. I guarantee you can smell a few Super Bowls in between. If Bill Belichick was coaching this particular team, I don't care what type of talent you got on this team. I don't care what type of shortcomings you have with free agency. But if you have the experience, you have the knowledge. Sometimes, hey, they say a new broom can sweep the floor, but an old broom know how to get those corners. Old folks know what I'm talking about, right? That old broom can find those corners. Now, that's what I'm saying. When you have Bill Parcells, if he was able to coach this team in 2007, he would have the wisdom and the understanding to say, hey guys, this game, we got to be really focused. The team that got their backs against the wall, the team that's desperate, the team that's hungry, the team that everybody counted out, and I'm talking about the Giants that year, they coming. And we cannot lay down. There's nothing given to us because we, at this point, cannot let up. We got to prove to everybody that we are the Dallas Cowboys. You know what I mean? But shout out to you, AB. Let me see. Bill Belichick learned from Parcells. Also on staff with Parcells in New England. Yes. See, now we bringing up history that some of the younger folks just don't understand and just don't know. They're not knowledgeable enough. And I'm not kicking them while they're trying to gain their knowledge, but that's just the truth and the reality of it. Now, Jason Garrett. Now, he had a lot of people surrounded around him with some experience. You know, you can pull some reserves from Jimmy Johnson. You can pull some reserves from Nick Saban. You can pull some reserves from actually Bill Parcells from certain sectors of time. And you can also pull some reserve from Scott Linehan because they both started out almost around the same time. But we saw with our natural eyes that there were some growing pains. Let me see from 105.3 The Fan. I'm going to make sure. Let me see if Mike Fish is coming on. Let me know too, guys.
Will end
with
Kellen Moore calling the plays. I suppose you could now go and start OTAs and say, okay, Kellen, you had your turn. Now, Doug Nussmeier, you take a day. And then the next day, John Kitna, you take a day. But I don't think that makes much sense. I think there's an understanding that this would be the preferred way to do it, to have Kellen Moore be the offensive coordinator and the play caller, to have Doug Nussmeier maybe have a fancier title. Maybe he can be the passing game coordinator and the tight ends coach, unless you want to hire Jason Witten, who clearly could do a better job at something else than what he's doing now. And then
Sheila.
John Kitna as the quarterback coach. I don't think it's locked in. And I remind us again of that fateful day at OTAs one time out on the track when Jason and Jerry were both talking about play calling, both giving different answers at the same time at OTAs.
Right.
So we've got some time to figure it out, but I think Kellen Moore is going to be the pivotal guy.
Speaking of giving answers or not giving answers, Jason hasn't, is that normal to not speak at all at Pro Bowl week as the coach?
It is the first time in Pro Bowl history that a Pro Bowl coach didn't speak to the media. And the reason there's no rule against it is, who would have ever thought that a Pro Bowl coach wouldn't speak to the media?
Right.
The Pro Bowl traditionally is where the head coach of the Cowboys goes and coaches in it and eats a hot dog on the sideline. Salute Barry Switzer. That's how lighthearted this is supposed to be. And so I guess there's kind of three working theories on what's going on with Jason Garrett. One, he didn't speak to the media because he is still got a rash from being caught in the Sean and RJ trap. And he stumbled into your trap that morning when you asked him a perfectly innocent but smart and necessary question about the future of Scott Linehan.
Well, Scott's going to be here for a long time.
He gave a ridiculously wrong answer.
Right.
Yeah.
Pulled his cheat card.
He had to know it was ridiculously wrong. He knew. If the rest of us knew Scott was on thin ice, so what, Garrett didn't know? So he gave you the wrong answer for reasons that I cannot grasp. And we asked him about it later in the day after the Cowboys had spent the entire day Michael Jackson moonwalking.
Backpedaling like Deion Sanders.
I was watching film, and the phone rang, and
What's up, JJ?
Caught off guard. You got caught off guard by the most obvious question you knew was coming, Jason. And somehow, instead of giving your usual friendly, smiling, red ball robot non-answer, you gave a newsy answer.
Yep.
Yeah.
Why would you do that?
This is also where they just. This is where I'm sure all teams do this. This is where the Cowboys just make things
more difficult.
More difficult for themselves. This whole thing is so stupid. Like, all Jason had to do was talk at the Pro Bowl and say, "Guys, we're assessing it. We haven't made a decision. Right. We're going to make a decision, and we'll tell you." But rather than hide and not talk as the NFC coach, like, it's just so stupid.
Well, they did
it's
the
so
same
silly.
thing.
It's so Cowboy.
Fish, I bet you remember this too. They did the same thing in 2008. They refused to name the starting cornerback. It was going to be Skandrick or Mike Jenkins. They refused. They just let it play out. So they never had to make an announcement on it. We're all wondering at camp, who's going to be the starting cornerback? They never gave an answer. And then all of a sudden, one day, this guy's just starting. But they never announced it. That's how they get out of these things.
Yeah, you make it a sillier deal by doing it this way. Now, Jerry would wink at you and say, "Yeah, I know, but we're also making it a bigger deal."
Yeah, and he's like, "They're talking about us, aren't they?"
It's the talk of the town in the off season when it's not, it's not that important. I mean, it's going to be somebody, and it's probably going to be Kellen Moore. But here we are talking about it, and Jerry's winking all the way to the bank over it all. Now, here's another theory on Jason. This is the innocuous one. Boys, I just don't have anything to say. We don't know what we're going to do. That's not a good enough answer, but that could be going through his head. But then here's the third one. What if he's miffed?
Oh, come on! No contract and play calling duties taken away. Which one do you think he'd be? Well, he'd be more upset, I guess, about the contract, right? Or both?
Well, I don't know whose idea it first was that he might call plays. I believe that the reason Chris Mortensen wrote it, and he's wrong. God bless Chris Mortensen, but obviously he's wrong. He didn't get that from Jason. He got that from Jerry. So Jerry must have thrown that out there. Now, maybe it was Jason's idea. Hey, I'd like to call my own plays. I want to put my hands on the steering wheel of my own ship.
Right.
And then maybe the Joneses, Will McClay, Garrett got talking, and they said no. Maybe that rubbed him the wrong way. Maybe the fact that it's all out there dangling at all rubs him the wrong way. Or maybe that extension that he was almost guaranteed to get 4 months ago hasn't happened yet. And maybe the reason it hasn't happened yet is because there is no guarantee you're going to get a contract extension. You already have a guarantee. The guarantee is your existing contract. And the combination of those three things might be why Jason Garrett did an unprecedented violation of a non-rule. That next year, by the way, at the Pro Bowl will be a rule.
Oh,
the league's going to have to make a rule that the coaches have to talk, which is unbelievable. Just like in the regular season, as you guys know, they do the press conferences. Jason does those press conferences not because he wants to.
He has
it's
to.
The law.
Yeah,
it's the law.
Yeah, Bill Belichick say, they do Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Sunday press conferences.
What's up,
and they have to. But you don't have to at the Pro Bowl. So Jason Garrett, probably because he's a little bit miffed, chose not to.
Mike Fisher, BuyerSafety.com hotline, soon to be Atlanta Super Bowl teammate as he's flying out here tonight, joining us on Sean and RJ.
I'll tell you what. Since you have an extra teammate, I get Fish because I have one less player on my team.
I have an extra teammate?
Yeah.
Man, you
what
can't
is
have.
The team?
Man, we'll talk about it coming up next. I'm getting crushed and hang out cool points. My team is letting me down. Very
I'll pick you up, son.
Fish, better broadcasting career, Jason Witten or Emmitt Smith?
Oh, God.
Wow. Nobody was
do that.
Right,
Emmett was so horrible, man. Come on, man.
Intercom tomorrow, you have to hire one.
Shout out to Emmitt Smith, though.
Oh, my God.
One of the greatest running backs of all time.
Wit.
I would hire Pat Smith, Emmett's wife.
Wow.
Man, that's a good question.
Professional actress, but here's why. She's got 20 years of training in how to do this. Emmett had 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And Witten had 20 hours. And I felt sorry for Emmett because ESPN literally they threw him a jacket, turned on the camera at a golf tournament, and that was his introduction to I'm now a broadcaster for ESPN. And he had zero training. Jason Witten, I know, worked at this, and I know Brad Sham was among the people that helped him to get to where he could go. But if you want a visual metaphor, not only for everything
growing
that's wrong
pains,
with
man.
Jason
Y'all
Witten's
listen,
broadcasting
growing
here,
pains.
but everything that's wrong with the NFL, go watch Jason Witten's trophy presentation again.
Wow.
Where he goes to pick up this obviously very bottom-heavy trophy, and he picks it up by the top, and he breaks it right in half. And the AFC award-winning guys who are supposed to get the trophy, their eyes pop out of their head.
Jamal Adams is like, oh.
Was
And
it
more
bottom
than
heavy because of the wood? You think that gave it away?
Well, it's as cheap and cheesy as the Pro Bowl itself.
Wow.
But the
Boy,
problem,
fish dropping
the
them bombs.
underlying problem here, if you were a well-oiled machine and
Right.
you prepared for everything, and I
Right.
don't mean to blame Witten here. It's
Right.
just weird that in his career as a football player, there was no stone unturned, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you practice the trophy ceremony if
not
you were
really.
on national television?
No, I don't think
no,
I'd
no.
assume the trophy was going to come in town. Come
Right.
apart.
Who
Right.
practices a trophy presentation?
Right. Fish, come
The
on.
Oscars.
It is the Oscars for Jason Witten.
Well,
He's
it's
about ready
Pro
to
Bowl,
move from
man.
getting an Oscar to getting a Razzie.
Fish. They told Jason to go present that trophy 38 seconds before he presented the trophy.
Fish,
Right.
real quick, how fun was Luca last night?
Luka was balling, though.
But
Luka.
what
Y'all
keeps
go
getting
watch
in the
Luka
way,
dunk.
This is the greatest teenager in the history of the NBA, and
Up
now
there.
it's not even close statistically. Now he's surpassed LeBron.
Right.
The,
That boy can
and
ball.
the excitement and the fun, and by gosh, put him in the All-Star game. And
Put him
not
in
just
there.
He'll be in the skills competition. Dirk will be there in the three, and Junior will be there in the slam dunk contest. But showcase him, because this league, every league, needs
Jim.
a Luka. But
Luka.
along with it, Rick, if you're listening, for gosh almighty, you now have the worst starting lineup in basketball in terms of one loss.
Right.
The worst starting lineup in basketball
Y'all
in the
listen.
advanced stats of plus-minus, which isn't all that advanced. And the Mavericks are extremely loaded in the world of advanced stats. They know all about it. They were ahead of everybody else, very avant-garde. And then Rick must be crumpling up the piece of paper and throwing it in the trash can, because Wes Matthews and Harrison Barnes, continuing to start together, are driving this team's record into the dirt. When Maxi Kleba and Dorian Finney-Smith, one of them or both of them, an insert in the starting lineup by the numbers would be the turnaround.
There you
Instead,
go.
Where the Mavericks are heading now is a different kind of Mark Cuban treadmill of mediocrity. They're going to end up in the lottery, but with no pick. That's a
Right.
treadmill of less than mediocrity.
Have a safe trip.
Man, oh man. But shout out to the Mavs, man. Hey, this is the thing. Like I said, there's growing pains in life. There are things that we just gonna have to look back at and say to ourselves, man, you see how Jason Witten fumbling around. Now, either you're gonna continue to go through the growing pains, or you can say and fold up like a wallet and say, well, I can't handle this particular job, and I'm just going to go back to what I do best. That's just how life goes. Those who out there who are managers, those who out there are leaders out there, team leaders or quote unquote business owners, and you have a new hire, you know for sure. You can look and you can see traits, you can see skills, you can see abilities, you can see temperament, like they come to job on time. They always speaking to everybody, going to work and going from work, and they just a good presence to be around. But at the end of the day, when you see them when they green, you can say, man, damn this brother or damn this sister, they're going to have to go through this growing pain, and I just got to figure out a way. Now, Cowboy Nation, I know that this is the last feed of news that we would like to hear. But if Jerry Jones choose or whatever it may be, if he decides basically to go with Kellen Moore or go with the Doug Nussmeier, there will. I guarantee you, as long as I've been alive, there will be growing pains. And as long as I've been alive, I've been on this earth long enough to know that this guy's just not going to just come out and be able to look like he's walking on water. It's just some small things that he's just going to have to learn. And that's just the reality of it. I can paint a picture to make it look otherwise, but that won't be Law Nation. I don't have to lie to you guys to kick it. I'm just telling you the truth. And those who out there who got loved ones out there that got potentials and you see it, you got to nurture it. Don't shut it down. Don't cover it up. Just nurture it and see what it can become. Now, Cowboys, we on the end of it, whereas we do not We do not want to see this thing go on and on and on again and say, well, hey, this year they picked up this particular part of it, and maybe next year, they can put things together. Everybody have reasonings, right? And I said this before, and I'm going to say it again, but results are what matter. Results are what matter. And still at the end of the day, when the end comes for me, let it find me conquering a new mountain, not sliding down an old one. That's been my time. I really appreciate each and every last one of you all for tuning in to the nation. Don't forget to hit that like button. Smash it if you can, or make love to it if you want to. You know what I mean? And have a productive day. Make sure you go grab your coffee. And one way or another, Cowboy Nation, we still representing that silver and blue to the day we die. Although we don't like what Jerry Jones been doing with his team, but it is what it is at this point. He bought the team financially. We bought the team emotionally. So all we have is opinions. We can't change Jerry Jones' mind. At the end of the day, this is his team. We just watching it, right? This is his party, right? Most of us was fans before we even knew who Jerry Jones was, right? Yes, indeed, Cowboy Nation. That's been my...